Welcome to the Minnesota Department of Agriculture Noxious Weed Training for Townships Part 2. This training will cover the duties and tips for a successful local weed program for township officers. In this video, we will cover local weed inspector duties, tips for a successful local weed program, and treatment timing for common roadside weeds. Please contact your county ag inspector for a copy of the local weed inspector's handbook. Local weed inspector duties are covered under the Minnesota Statutes 18.80, Subdivisions 2 and 3. In this statute, the supervisors of each town board and the mayor of each city shall act as the local weed inspectors within their jurisdiction. A municipality may appoint one or more assistants to act on behalf of the appointing authority as a weed inspector for the municipality. Under Minnesota Statutes 18.81, Subdivision 2, the noxious weed law duties are defined as examining all lands to ensure compliance, make sure control and eradication is carried out, and issuing transport permits under the MS 18.82. Local weed inspectors have the authority to do weed inspection under MS 18.79. There are two subdivisions that pertain to this authority. The first one, entry upon land, is granted to local weed inspectors. They may enter land without consent and without being subject to trespass. However, please make every effort to contact a landowner prior to entry as a good practice and as a courtesy to the landowners. The second authority states that an inspector may order the control or eradication of noxious weeds in their jurisdiction. Always consult with your county ag inspectors before issuing notices to control or eradicate noxious weeds. There are many tips for building a successful noxious weed program in your local municipality. County ag inspectors are responsible for carrying out the noxious weed law enforcement. Please visit the Minnesota Department of Agriculture website and search for the County Ag Inspector list to find the County Ag Inspector for your county. These tips are suggestions for a local weed inspector to build a local weed control program. They are not definitive, and you may find other ways useful for your area. The first tip is to spend time, around 2 hours a year, making tours of your municipality. Public lands are also subject to the noxious weed law. Individual notices may be served to owners of public land. Make sure any recommendations for control or eradication are effective. Please consult with your county ag inspector or local extension office if you need any tips on controlling any weeds in your jurisdiction. Winter is a great time to reach out to landowners or managers of public lands to plan a noxious weed control program. Communication is always crucial to a successful program. This may go without saying, but try to be aware of disputes between neighbors. Consult with your county ag inspector for help. Investigate the complaint before contacting the landowner or issuing an individual notice. Be aware that seeing the problem firsthand can protect the identity of the complainant. Seeing it firsthand also helps you verify the issue. An individual notice is a serious action. Make sure you have the support of your board, your county ag inspector, and the county attorney before issuing an individual notice. Without the support of the county, reimbursement for control work will be difficult, if not impossible. Voluntary compliance is the #1 goal of the noxious weed law. If compliance is not being met, then further action under the noxious weed law may be taken. In a standing crop, such as soybeans, you will need the assistance of your county ag inspector. They will assist you with setting up an appeal board and enforcement with the county attorney. Keep in mind, in most cases, it is not as advisable to destroy a standing crop the first year that a noxious weed issue is discovered. To document noxious weed issues, a digital camera or smartphone is a great tool. Record pertinent information such as the legal description, date, species, and other information related to the investigation. Remember to keep the investigation on file for 3 years, and that good record keeping is a great asset to an investigation. By following a planned enforcement program, the number of violations will decrease over the years, and your job may even become easier. Remember that local weed inspectors can act as the eyes of the county ag inspector. Local weed inspectors can take inventory of weeds on township roads. County ag inspectors are there to help local weed inspectors. And remember that it's crucial to always communicate. Here are a few tips for treatment timing. Your summer inspections can help you plan fall treatments. You can treat rosettes in the fall. You can mark infestations on a map for fall and spring treatments. And you can time spring treatments in the spring before the plants start to bolt. An example of a before and after of vines that were treated 1 year later, you can see on the left that the vines had been treated, and compared with a spot right next to it that were untreated, how much cleaner the area looks. Keep in mind that there is a statute that exempts mowing noxious weed areas to prevent the ripening or scattering of seed or other plant propagating parts before August 1st. This is a legal exception to the bird nesting and wildlife habitat protection statute. Finally, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Emily Justin, at the email and phone number listed on this slide. Please also reach out to your local county ag inspector